Hi, welcome to another episode of Baby Narc. When you deal with people who are greedy, you're always going to be used. Greedy people come from a sense of lack, and there's a fear of never having enough. So instead of sharing and being abundant and, spreading the wealth, they hang on to everything that they have. They're very stingy, they're very greedy, and then they can't help themselves but to be manipulative, even to the point of stealing. They borrow things, don't return it, ask for money, don't return it, don't repay it. And there's also the jealousy element to it. They live in a sense of lack and not having enough, not having what they want. So when they see other people having something that they want, or even just being abundant, it could be your boyfriend who's the narcissist, who's jealous of the way you dress. It's not that he wants to borrow your dresses and skirts. It's just that he sees in your purses. It's just that he sees you with high-end bags and sees that your status is above him, and it makes him feel bad about himself. And instead of coming up, he's mad at you because you're at that level. And then what can even happen other than them? And I take borrowing things and not giving them back or paying them back if it's money over long periods of time. That's equivalent to me. That's equivalent to theft. I mean, you can, break into my house and steal $100 laying on the counter, or you can manipulate me into letting you borrow $100 and never paying it back. What's the same? I'm still out $100 because of you. So you got to really be careful with people like that. People who lack, people who are lazy, people who are manipulative, not just narcissists, but we all go to work. I get that $100 on my counter. I did some stuff to get that legally. I worked hard, or I, didn't, I got up on my credit situation so that I'm not spending extra money on credit bullshit, and now I got an extra $100. I have that $100 because of my own efforts. And if you come and take that from me, now I don't have $100. And even if you do pay it back, and I'm not saying not to let people borrow things if they're cool about returning it or paying it back, but in the interim of you having my $100, I don't have my $100. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on. So if somebody borrows something from you and doesn't give it back, that's fucking theft. Like Brian taking my jumper cables, he's still never giving them back. Okay, I'm not getting into it, but how does a man take jumper cables from a woman, a female? God, that is just a fucking low life. Anyway, so back to people being stingy and greedy and manipulative and basically thieves. Don't let yourself get used, because it's one thing to help people out, and we should all do that. Don't ever, just because you stop helping an asshole out doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and help other people. We should all be on this planet helping each other every chance we get. But if it's never reciprocated, like they never help you, and they take you for granted, and they continue to ask for help, and they're not appreciative, and they don't pay it back, and it's not even just the fact of them paying back, I let you borrow $100 and you pay me back the $100. It's also the fact that, if I'm ever in a bad situation, and I'm not saying tit for tat, like immediately ask for it, but, if a year goes by and all of a sudden I need $100 and you don't have it, or I know you have it, but you won't give it to me, then fuck you. Then you were just using me anyway. Or like when I found out, that Brian does stuff for other people. You know, he never does anything for me, nothing. He only takes for me. He only takes for me. I think he's bought me food at a fast food place a couple of times. I mean, a couple, not a few, but a couple. And he did like give me some cash money one time when he got like a bunch of money at work. Like he handed me some money and he was sober. Then he was being cool. He was love bombing me. But I mean, other than that, I mean, he doesn't take me out on dates. He doesn't buy me jewelry. He doesn't buy me flowers. Not to say I need that, but I'm just saying that I do for him. In fact, one of his birthdays, it wasn't last year, but the year before, when we were still doing good, but not as bad. Like it was like the beginning of the real bad stuff. I hadn't heard from him, so I sent a bouquet of balloons to his house. And I found out through social media that the reason it took him I think he called me the next day and said, you know, thanks. He was nice about it. His mom probably made him call. But I found out that he had spent his birthday the day before and the day before that with Samantha. You know, saying like that's fucked up. You know, that's fucked up. So you know, it's just usury. And you know, lately, you know, this whole past year, you know, starting with him wanting to borrow my bass and stuff, although he did sucker me out of my jumper cables, you know, and some beer. But I've been really cautious about that kind of stuff, you know. And at one time he said, "Hey, you still living in the same place?" I was like, "Yeah." And of course, you know, a normal man, a good relationship would be like, "Hey, you still living in the same place? Okay, maybe we can start this again. I'll stop by, you know, let's start this again." No. What he did is like the next day he called me and he wanted to stop by and get some cigarettes. I didn't let him. You know, that's the kind of thing. Like it's not like, "Hey, he's still living in the same place so we can start our relationship." No. It's, hey, you close by so I can continue to use you. So yeah, that's the thing. And just watch out for people who are greedy. People who just watch out for really greedy, selfish, stingy people, because I can guarantee you underneath all of that is that sense of usury and manipulation, and they're going to somehow fuck you over. Even if it's just the fact that they won't even ever help you when you need it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, just be careful of people like that. You know, all these red flags with people, you've got to understand that there are some deep-seated issues within these types of people. And something that doesn't seem that bad now, or it does seem kind of bad, but you think it was just one thing. No, it's going to be a continuation, because you're dealing with people's internal, their core root, their mission statement of how they really feel about themselves, people, and the world. And whoever, you know, core beliefs run deep. And you can't change that. And, you know, people with bad core beliefs are the people who fuck everyone over. So just don't let yourself be used. If you feel like you're being used, and you always got to go with your feeling, your gut feeling will always tell you. I think it's God whispering in our ears, but you can believe however you want. But those feelings that you have, when you know something is off about a person, I guarantee you're 1,000% right. Never mistrust that. Okay. Don't let yourself be used. You need to focus on helping yourself and helping people who deserve your help, not these dirtbags. Okay, bye.